Welcome all, this is John again from Infinite Remote Control, and today I'm going to be giving you a first look at the Vaterra Kalahari. This is a four-wheel drive, brushless, 1/14 scale off-road car that Vaterra recently came out with. I'm not doing an unboxing video because I didn't buy this car new. I actually bought it for $100 from my local hobby shop's owner. And I was actually leaning more towards the Camaro, which is the rally version of this car. But it was a deal that I just really couldn't pass up. And for $100, this thing actually retails at this moment for $169 at hobby shops, $150 at common online retailers, and $127 is the lowest that I've seen on eBay. So I also picked up some new rear tires and some shock springs. I'll start to get into this car in a little bit. So first, let's just go ahead and take this hood off. I'd also like to show that this car did come with a DX2L radio. This is the stock radio that Vaterra and Losi are now including. It comes with a lot of options actually. It's got your reverse switches right there. This is one thing that I really like. It's now called throttle limit, and it's high, medium, or low. So you can hand this to a beginner at low and then turn it up to high for yourself. You've got some steering endpoints, just kind of like your exponential, and then you also have your throttle exponential. There's your bind, there's your remotely operated starting system for your nitro cars, on and off switches right there, and then you've got your trims and dual rate right there. It only takes 4 AA's, and it's really light. Also, this wheel is a little bit smaller than those on the standard Spektrum radio, such as the DX 4S and 4R and the 3C. But yeah, it's really nice, and it has a little bit of rubber right there. It's not an entire rubber grip, but it still feels really nice in the hand, and the range is it's pretty decent. So now we're just going to take off the shell, and I actually really like this shell. It's probably the best looking RC body that I have ever seen come on a ready to run vehicle, and it just looks really nice. It's pretty beat up from the previous owner, but it's not too bad, and I really like the styling of this car. Now here's something different that you don't typically see on an RC. This car actually comes with a like an overprotective shell. I don't really know what you call it. It's kind of like an outerwears kind of thing, but it's plastic. It includes the driver, and whenever you look at the driver from straight on, as if this was a fully scale car and you were looking into the car at eye level, you can't see the driver's head. But they were actually really smart, because whenever you're looking at it from up at the angle of you driving it, you can see the head because it's a little bit lower. So that's just something to point out, and I do like the scale details that they have included with this car. It's held on by 4 pieces of Velcro at the corners, and is very easy to remove and seems pretty durable. With that out, it's going to look just like this, and this should be a really similar chassis. If you haven't already guessed it, it's the Losi Mini 8 chassis. Yep. It has it's extended from the Mini 8, and the arms are the slightest bit narrower. But if you are somewhat familiar with the Losi Mini 8, you'll know that those are the arms. Just they're shortened arms, but they're the same styling, front and rear, and this is an all-plastic chassis. It has quite a bit of flex in it, as you can see, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially for a car this size. They did add a protective covering for the spur gear, but you still have the exposed gears in the back. It comes with plastic bodied shocks, which I'm completely okay with. I've driven this car now for 3 hours, and the only problem that I have is that this little shock shaft end has stripped out and pops off on really big jumps. But really, this car is excellent for the cost of it. It does come with plastic shock towers, but they're very thick. And I'd have to say, I preferred bashing with this car over the Mini 8 for the simple fact that I don't really have to worry about any aluminums bending or scraping up my aluminum. It comes with dog bones that actually look thicker than the dog bones that are on the Mini 8. So that's actually something that was really surprising to me. First of all, I mean, it was surprising that it even came with all metal drive shafts, but the fact that it came with really pretty beefy drive shafts, that's impressive. Everything on here is waterproof. It comes with the 2-channel Spektrum waterproof receiver. It comes with the new waterproof ESC, and I've had no problems with this ESC so far. It does have a bit of a jitter problem where it starts off like that, especially in reverse, but it's a lot better than what the Losi had, and I'm enjoying this ESC so far. It's got a ton of power, and what's a little bit different from this car versus other cars that I've driven is that it's pretty slow on 2S actually. I'd say it probably tops out at about 25 to 30 miles an hour, maybe. But on 3S, it's absolutely insane. I mean, I've never seen a car that has changed so dramatically from 2S to 3S. The box says that it would do 45 miles an hour on 3S. I think it's probably pretty close to that. So I'm really impressed with the speed here. As you know, if you've ever seen Mini 8 upgrade videos, you can stick a Valinian motor into this, which I'll probably end up doing. But I like the longer chassis. It gives it a little bit more room, a little bit more, a couple more places for you to mount stuff. And I actually purchased this car, believe it or not, to replace my Mini 8. It comes with all plastic links versus the adjustable ones that the Mini 8 comes with. But really, other than that, it's very similar, and a lot of the parts are going to be interchangeable between this and the Mini 8. I do believe that if you would like to, you could even put Mini 8 arms onto this and extend the width of the car a little bit more for better performance. These tires, I just like to touch on these tires. I really like the design of them, and they actually hook up really well. This car traction rolls on pavement because these tires provide so much grip for the car, and it has a pretty hard time getting over some grass. But I mean, again, it's a really low car, so I'm not surprised about that, and it's really okay. Let's just check out the profile view of it. As you can see, I mean, it sits just about like that whenever you've got the weight and the battery on it. I actually put the stiff shock springs onto this car and filled these shocks up with 70 weight Losi oil. I just felt like that worked best for me. And one thing to point out is whenever you get this car right out of the box, the back is actually going to sit a little bit lower like this, and you're also the front is pretty hard to even hit the ground. The back, you can just slap the ground like that. What I ended up doing is taking some preload spacers. As I said, I bought this used, so I don't know if the car came with preload spacers. I'm sure it did because this is Vaterra. But I just took some Traxxas Ultra Shock shock spacers and put them on there until I found like I got exactly what I wanted. And now the back sits up just a little bit higher, so under acceleration it's bogged down just the slightest bit. And I'm really happy with how this thing performs. Over jumps, I've taken it off some small BMX jumps, and it really works great. I'm not going to jump this car like I jump my other cars, because I just want this car to be more of an enjoyable car. I'm selling my other Minis because I really don't like these small cars, but this was just an offer that I couldn't pass up, and I am actually really interested in the car. So I want to wrap up this review. You can stop watching right now if you'd like to, but what I'm going to do is for the next couple of minutes, or minute or so, I'm just going to talk about how this car is the best deal in RC right now. If you're watching this video when this version of the Vaterra is out, you need to go out and buy this car right now. This car is so cheap. I mean, you need to look at what you're getting. You're essentially getting a 50-mile-an-hour car that's based off of the low-C. It's durable. It's Vaterra. You're getting a Spektrum radio. You're getting brand name electronics that are capable of 3S. You're getting a waterproof receiver, all metal drive shafts. You can't even say that about Traxxas products. The Traxxas Minis are the same size as this car, and they run over $300. This car is more than half that price, or is less than half, more or less, whichever one, than that price. It's $150 right now, and when you look at the Mini 8, it still is $100 less than the Mini 8. And for bashing, I would choose this car over the Mini 8. Yeah, so I'd just say, if you've got a little bit of spare money out there, and you've been looking at maybe getting a Traxxas Mini or something like that, I'd definitely get this. One of the rumors out there is that when this car first came out, I don't know if you know this or not, but it was $200. They dropped it down to $150, and people are actually selling it for $127, which means that Vaterra has lowered the price that they're selling this to the middle person. So that means that Vaterra is actually selling this car cheaper than what they were before, because, now this is only a rumor, they want to get all of these cars out of their warehouse so that they can start releasing these cars, and I would imagine for $200 with the active vehicle control system that Spektrum just put out. So I think that they're just gonna, they might even price drop their other cars and put that system into their cars, but again, that's only a rumor. So that's just gonna wrap up what I have to say about this car. It's definitely a car that I'm excited about. I can't wait to start using it more, and you'll definitely see a lot more of this car in the future. Alright, so that's the Vaterra Kalahari first look. Hope you guys liked this video. Sorry it was a bit lengthy. I would really, if you guys are first time viewers to the channel, I would really recommend going and checking out my bash videos on my channel. A lot of people really like them, and I think you'll like them too. So make sure to check out my channel and subscribe. Thanks for watching.